Hello and welcome to another edition of the GH Mini Spotlights and Recap. Oh my goodness, I've been doing shows all day long here on JLJ Media. I'm JLJ. I'm here, of course, with Frank Moran. Hello, Frank.
Hey, everybody. I felt like you were just going to do like last name, comma, first name. So it was Mini Spotlight, comma, GH.
Comma GH. And you are Moran, comma, Frank.
There you go.
Lott, comma, James Jr. Yes, exactly. Right. That's how it goes. Yes, we are here. We are back. We're here talking about General Hospital. Some housekeeping before we start. Of course, earlier today, we did Wide Army Spotlight with me, Amanda Russ, and Tammy Govea, and Bold and Beautiful with Amanda Russ and Tammy Govea. We had a good time. Those are out now. So we're going to find out where you find your podcast and here on JLJ Media. I made a special appearance on Days of Our Lives special show Beyond Salem. They did a sign over here about this. They did a special thing on Peacock, a 5-part series where they brought Charles Shaughnessy as Shane back and Carrie and all these people. They come right back into the whole fancy storyline. What's her name? Lisa Rinna came back as Billy Reed, all this stuff. So I did a special on there with them. That's out now on their channel, Edition Days. And after me and Frank are done, I'm talking to Queer and Soaps. They're a new empire. They're starting this new empire. They're trying to be James Lott Jr. They got a bunch of shows. And they're out there building it. So we're going to talk to them to see what's going on. I have to squash them down. Excuse me, I'm first.
That's right. Kiss the ring.
Kiss the ring. Yeah. Kiss the ring. Yes. Hello, everybody. Come on in. The water's fine. Come on in. You guys are coming in. Hello, you guys. So those are all JLJ Media shows. They're all out. They're here. They're ready for you. Check them out. This one will be available, of course, if you listen to it later. Hi, you guys, on audio and video. Thanks for making this the #1 show on my network.
Also, now, knowing that, this is a GH podcast, but quickly, were you happy with the Beyond Salem little 5-part?
Yes. It reminded me, some of you guys watch both shows, it reminded me of GH Night Shift. The quality was better, the production was better, the lighting was better. I'm very curious what this means for soaps and streaming. Everybody was excited. Sony put their whole backing behind it. And I was excited every morning to watch it. Every morning I got up and watched every episode that came out. It was very exciting. Get the whole day's community talking. I think 95% of people loved it. Great use of history, Frank. Great use of history. Everyone had a story. Great surprises. Lots of camp. And it was a wonderful experience. So I'm curious what this means for the show, for other soaps, because CBS has Paramount Plus and ABC has Hulu. Yep. So I'm curious what that means as a producer. I'm always thinking, what does that mean for that? And can they do this again? Will you do other shows like that? So it was good. It was good, Frank. I was very, very impressed. And Charles Shaughnessy, of course, plays Victor Castelline on GH, but he plays opposite Teo Pengelis, who was the other Victor Castelline. So nice. On Days. So it was they all liked it. Beyond Salem was great. It was amazing. They did a great job. I was very impressed. Very impressed, Frank.
Nice. Do they leave it? They wrap up the story after the 5th episode?
They actually wrapped it up. We were shocked. They leave it as a cliffhanger. They actually wrapped it up. So I'm thinking he's so self-contained. This could be really good.
That's great.
I think streaming is where it's at, everybody. It really is. Since we've been doing this show almost 6 years in a couple of weeks, we've been doing these recaps, Frank. 6 years ago, I started talking to you. 6 years ago.
And your life's gone downhill with each week that you have to talk to me.
I have more gray hairs. When I started with Frank, it was all black. That's
right. I've been sucking it.
Exactly. When I was with Frank, I was all black back then too. Yes. It's been wonderful. I love you, Frank, man. I love it. It was so 6 years of doing this. The streaming was not a big thing 6 years ago. Remember, Frank? It wasn't big. It was just starting. It was kind of starting out. It was kind of feeling its wings. There was Netflix going into streaming. That was about it.
But now, everybody and anybody's got their own little streaming platform. It's all about it's about controlling your own content and monetizing it.
It really is. And as I said, the 6 years, I am planning a 6-year anniversary show for GH. Many of you have watched us from almost nearly the beginning. So I've been in contact with some of the original hosts.
Woo!
And other hosts of GH And we're going to talk about it. So stay tuned. Next couple of weeks, stay tuned. I'll have some announcements. So you're following us, follow us on Facebook, and you'll get more information. But I am planning something nice for you guys and for us to talk about doing the show doing these shows for like 6 years. You guys don't understand. Doing the show is not the easiest thing on earth. It's fun, but it's not easy. So we're gonna talk about that. So that's coming up for sure. Also, 30 years ago this weekend, Wally Kurth debuted as Ned. So happy 30th anniversary to Ned, to Wally Kurth, who had a big week on days this week too. Had a huge week on there. So he is working it out, Frank. He is working it out.
Look at him go.
Yeah, he's waiting, and he likes it. He likes both. He likes doing both. If you're in Los Angeles, get a chance, go to the Wave of Flags Memorial at Pepperdine University in Malibu. I went yesterday. You see my pictures everywhere. I posted them everywhere. It was amazing. Frank was amazing. It was calming right off the ocean. It was very touching. It's all the flags. I found the Dutch flag. I didn't find a Puerto Rican one. I found a Dutch one, but it was very cool exhibit, Frank. Very cool.
That's awesome. I saw some of the photos of your adventure there.
Yeah, it was very cool. It was very. So if you're in LA area, I say go see it. And as we get to start, before we start the show, I've been saying this. If you've been watching any of the shows earlier, I've dedicated all these shows today to anyone who's been affected by September 11th and lost someone in the World Trade Center or the Pentagon or in Pennsylvania. For me, I almost didn't do these shows today because I wasn't sure if I had the energy to do it. It was really hard for me. But I decided, yes, I should do these shows today because that's what life is about, right? You know, it's been 20 years ago. It's still fresh in my mind. I think we all remember where we were when we heard what happened. I dedicated the show to my cousin who I lost, who worked in the World Trade Center, who worked in the Windows of the World restaurant that morning. He was getting ready for work there. And I lost 13 co-workers at Morgan Stanley Dean Witter. We lost a whole office. And I'll tell you, Frank and everybody out there, it was one of the saddest, heartbreakingest, strangest work experiences I've ever had in my entire life. It was the days following that were really hard. People that I talked to 2 days earlier were dead. We were still getting the mail from the brokers and then from things. And it was people calling me up asking, where's my broker? And I have to tell them that, it was a very, 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 I will never forget that experience in my life. I will never forget that experience. It was a very strange experience. But for them, for my cousin, for everybody, I'm doing these shows. We're allowed to be frivolous and have some fun. We should be able to do that. And I don't know, Frank, if you want to add anything about September 11th yourself.
No, it's I read. I just read another article today about the gentleman that worked at Morgan Stanley that headed the security that let everybody out and then went back up to see if there's anybody still left behind. Reading about his life leading up to that and his time in Vietnam and everything, and an incredible story that he had.
That's funny you read about Morgan Stanley. I got a job there as a third floor cashier, storage rate operator. So I answer all the calls coming in. And I used to complain because I had to be there at 4 a.m. because I get ready for the market. I was in San Francisco. I had to get ready for the market in New York. And I remember saying, God, this is so early in the morning. But many of those folks, he got out, if I remember correctly, over 2,000 employees did make it out from Morgan Stanley.
Yeah.
So a lot of them did get out. But I remember we lost 13. And that's 13 too many. I mean, in my book, it's still 13 too many. And we lost the whole office. I mean, the whole office, it's in smoke. So it was gone. So yes, I heard about him, of course. I never went to the offices there. I've been to New York in the World Trade Center myself. I've been there. I've been inside. I did all that, but I never got to see that. But but we're here. This is what life's about. We're here to celebrate, not forget them, but also live our lives. We have to live our lives. We can't let anybody stop us from doing that. So I also missed that back then we came together as a nation. We came together and we were like really strong and united. We're not united anymore. There's a lot of stuff going on, but I wish we could get back to that. That was we were all kind of on the same. We were all on the same page back then. It didn't matter what we were. We were all kind of on the same page. We all felt it. So when I say that, but yes. So anyway, that's what make sure I get that out the way. Okay, now it's time for some crazy General Hospital, some shade for Shady Sunday. I have my. It's also Grandparents' Day. I have my grandparent mug that my grandkids gave me, Super Grandpa.
Oh, revealing your secret identity to the world.
My secret identity, Super Grandpa. So they claim I am. I'm Papa Jamie. So to Zayden, Scarlett, Rylan, and little Trenton Paul, I love you, my grandkids. Okay, I'm going to start off first because we went from this whole sad thing, which was about 9/11, to disturbing. I'd rather watch footage about 9/11 than Jason and Carly kissing.
Boy, the show really wants us to get invested in them as a couple, and I just can't. It's just for all the reasons we talked about in the past. That Maurice Bernard is still a member of the cast. It's just you can't get invested in it. So watching this is just awkward.
But Frank, so sometimes it does work. Sometimes even if we know someone's alive and two characters get together, sometimes it does, it seems like. In this case, it's just not. For whatever reason. And it's funny because they're also showing us they're friends. They've been best friends for years. I think I'm completely just believing they're friends. Like I've seen them kiss and say they love each other in a way that's not friendship. Feels like Lori C says, awkward to me.
Yeah, for the characters themselves within the story, yes, it makes sense. They know they have no idea that somebody's alive. But it just makes it hard as a viewer to go along on that ride with them, knowing how long the show has really painted them as. How many times have we seen Carly? You're my best friend. You're my best friend. Those conversations that have happened like at least twice a year. We get that teary-eyed Carly conversation with Jason for so long. So for them to kind of say, hey, maybe this is something more. As the characters, yes, I see why they're going with it and why they, sure, they're going to go with it. They don't know any better. But as a viewer, it's tough to go on that ride with them.
Martin Wallace, who I know, I met him a year ago at the Capital City Awards. Call me crazy. I actually like the scene leading up to the kiss. Well, them talking, you don't mind them talking. I mean, yeah, about their history and what's going on. That is about it. It's the kiss itself was awkward.
Yeah, it's if I had somebody that for years have been, if I was the liaison fan of Carly and Jason, just like, yes, they really should be together. They really should. Maybe I'd be so excited about this. Like after all this time, finally. But I've never been that person that's going to ship those two people together. So I just don't have any interest. And no matter how much weird kissing they do, I don't care.
So that leads me to, on the same level, watching Mike and Nina, it's awkward too to me.
That I hate everything about that storyline. It is terrible. It is one of the worst. I mean, this has been going on for 9 months. It's one of the most garbage stories that I've seen ever on General Hospital. It's so terrible. There's zero chemistry between those two. Nina, we've talked about so many times, like Nina's inability to play it cool at any scene. She's constantly looking like, so freaked out and panicked that everything's going to blow up in her face. That finally, because the writers decided, like, oh yeah, I guess other people should notice this. Like Jax calls her out on that, how nervous she looks. But until then, nobody ever comments on it, and it has been readily apparent through all these little brushes with her possible exposure. Ugh.
Yes, I will say, and I was one who didn't mind the Tano stuff. But I have agreed recently. Now it's time to wrap it up. It's time to do something, and now something's happening. Finally, who would have thunk it that Jax coming to town made me excited? It was like, finally, he's like, I'm not going to leave you here. I'm not leaving. I'm not just going to leave. He would go like, no, I'm not leaving. I'm like, he's calling her out. He's going off on Mike/Sonny. I love it. I am just like, it is. I'm so excited. I'm so excited that finally, possibly, it's coming to an end.
Yeah, it's tough because I mean it's been 9 months that he's gone on in here. Yeah, we haven't. The only part for the majority of it, the only parts that we've seen as viewers is situations where the secret could be blowing up in Nina's face, or this whole thing with Elijah, that dopey thing. But we've never really seen, like, for them to declare their love for each other, we really haven't seen them just like having a life or something like together where they're not worrying about all this other stuff. So I have zero investment in them. And so all this stuff about loving each other, it's like, oh, it is just crazy. It is crazy to me.
Yeah, it's the problem is, I said it before, they should just make Nina all out and out, just bad girl, screw you, Carly, I'm going on after Sunny. And just like really like then really fall for him, not be scared, be stand, they didn't do that. They made her scared, nervous Nina. So you're right. It ruins everything. So you're like, well, I mean, it is ridiculous. I mean, Jackson's looking at her like, you crazy bitch. I'm like, you're crazy. You're a crazy bitch.
Yeah.
He has, I mean, you're not making any sense. He has kids. Wiley's his grandson too, bitch. Like, what do you, well, hello? Like, there's something, like, there's just, yeah. He's in the right this time. He's completely in the right. And it was that sauce, Frank. It was that godforsaken sauce.
I know, God.
Sauce!
And the frustrating thing is, I almost put it up there with kind of like a character, like the breaking of a character, like they did with Julian. Once he held that knife to Alexis's throat, it was just the character was never the same after that.
Nope.
It's like, how do you bring back Nina from this? I mean, it just like I have zero interest in seeing her try to reclaim anything, of her former self. I guess I was never a huge fan of her former self to begin with. This has made it worse. Like, I don't like this should be a write-off of the character. Like, she should just go away and she's just done. Because I don't know what else there's to be gained by having her around.
I don't either. Moran thinks that Lenny dying bonded them.
Great.
They haven't had sex yet. They haven't had sex. They haven't had really any dates, like any real dates. They had the one kind of, that's it. But Peter kept interrupting, and then Jackson interrupting. I mean, I don't. I'm not feeling it either.
And the terrible thing with like the watch caught in the hair, that was garbage. Oh, again, I like how you can, like, Sonny's not Mike, but boy, he still like kisses like Sonny, cradling the head and just like,
oh yeah, he did. That's right. Mm-hmm. I think this whole foursome, I can't agree with Nathan Banks and everything. It's just, it's a mess. And I think I see on paper, as a writer myself, I see on paper what they're trying to do. I totally get it. I want to give some credit. I mean, we've been shitting on the storyline all the time, but I just want to say, as a writer, I see on paper how it could look, but sometimes it doesn't work outside of paper. Sometimes it just doesn't translate, and I think the situation where it doesn't translate. But see, they're leading to the wedding. Everything's leading to that wedding. The 5 families now they have a plan. They want to divide up the rest of it for themselves, whatever that's all about. They're ready. So I feel like this is Game of Thrones. I'm ready. I'm like, I kill everybody. No. It's like everybody's, it's just like they're leading to the wedding. That's gonna be the big event, Frank. That's gonna be the big event. If nothing happens at that wedding, Frank, I'm going to come through the TV. My TV's right here, folks. I'm going to reach through the TV and strangle Frank Valentini. If nothing big, and there's no big payoff, because I'll forgive all of this if there's an amazing payoff, an amazing act. I mean, I'll forgive everything if there's something good and juicy that happens, like real, not fake, real. Because Cyrus is out there. They got this over here. I mean, it's a lot that could happen. There's a lot. They're building it up, Frank.
And especially for the way the show is deciding to roll out the story. I mean, they're pretty much treating it by hour because it's like 2 weeks leading up to this wedding. So it's, so something, you're right. If you're going to take this much time, 2 weeks of real estate to get to that big event, then you're right. There's got to be like a huge payoff to this.
The 17th is next Friday, folks. We have 5 days. They have to fill 5 days of the storyline. 5 days.
Yeah.
To get there, or 4 to get to the 5th day. And I'm assuming the wedding's probably starting on Friday, ending with a cliffhanger, right? It's starting on Friday and will continue next week. So everybody just sit back, relax, get a drink. It's going to be a while. We're going to be there. We're going to do this for a while. For a while. Come on, Frank. You know, look how it happen on Friday. That's what it's going to begin.
Yes.
And it's going to be a lot, again, I love Phyllis. And you guys, actually, and I got to tell Frank this off screen, we got to figure it out. So Joyce Guy, who plays Phyllis, will be on our show next week. We're doing a special show with her, but it'll be a different time period. So you get to talk with Tano, Frank, all about a haha with her.
Great. Yeah, it's a shame. I'm happy for her that she's been able to have this great gig. I just wish that she was given better stuff to work
Hey,
with.
say it. But we're gonna come on. So, but that'll be next week, guys. So we're talking about that next week. And I'm working on somebody else for Frank too that he loves. But yes, working on her too. You know, on here. But it's this storyline. I think on paper they had an idea, and it just fell apart. Yeah, it fell apart. That's all I can say about that. We'll have that drink. Yeah, exactly. It just fell apart. I think it fell apart. I know there are Jarly fans out there, and I know there's a few Nina whatever fans too, and Mike fans. But I'm ready for it to be over. But see, now I'm confused because now Peter's back.
Yeah. I will say I would have liked the storyline better if Nina wasn't involved. If Mike had gotten involved with somebody completely new.
Yeah.
Because then it's cool. We would have done all this. It was just having Nina. It just makes it a terrible storyline.
But now you got Peter. But now you got Peter there. What's he doing? I thought he went to St. Lucia. Why is he there?
Well, he's probably figured out like that conference, like much like they all found out, like that it didn't exist. So he's like, wait a minute, why were you sending me there? Because there's nothing there.
And Nina has no idea that her Aunt Lisa is being held captive by Victor Cassadine.
Which I did like that. That is one part of it. Just you're setting up one payoff of a storyline, and then it gets sucked into another storyline, and kind of throws everything off track. I did like that aspect of the story.
Yeah, that's good. It's good. Yeah, so we have that going on because you had I just love that Scotty, out of all places to fall in the world, fell into the camp of Elizabeth and all them. It's very interesting. But that leads into another part of storylines. The one thing with this show, though, a lot of these storylines are connected. There are things that are kind of leading to other things, lead to other things. And you have Scotty, who's led into who's part of the Ava Nicholas storyline and all that's going on. Oh. But it's still part of Britt, and Britt's part of the Jason storyline with Carly and all that. And you got Jax questioning Ava before he even went to there. So he kind of crossed over to her. I was like, oh my god, it's there are some crossed over things that are happening in there.
I don't know how Scotty coming out of his out of his anesthesia or being knocked out and just, my Liebchen, Mr. Russell.
I know, I love it. I love it. I love it. Just Ava, I know you just came out of a plane and all and everything, but you're okay. So what about my divorce? I mean, like, it's just like I started laughing, like, that's so Ava. That's so Ava. Like, he gets it too. It's so Ava.
Well, true. It's I guess very typical of Scotty and Ava's relationship. It's like they do care for each other, but they also are looking out for themselves at the same time.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I know she died and she really cares about him. And they did kind of bond over Franco and all that stuff. They're friends, but she is very much herself. And hires two goons who end up punching Nicholas to death. I'm like, I thought that was hilarious. I said just scare him, not just like, but I mean, I'm
like, interesting. What I thought interesting about that scene is that afterwards we get Ava, trying to ice down his belly. And they go in for the kiss, and we kind of did like in the high times of COVID, the pan away from the actual smooch. When we've been back to showing full smooches since then. So I was curious, like, why that particular directing choice.
Unless the actors said no, we're not kissing. This was them.
Yeah, that's true.
Come in and say, well, I'm not just really not comfortable with it.
Yeah.
But I'm looking at Kelly, I'm going, Steve Burton caught COVID, so that's kind of interesting. You're kissing Laura Wright. So that's very interesting. But maybe Morris is like, yeah, I'm good. We'll just pretend we're fine. Or Marcus Coloma could be either one of them. So that's you hope that Victor Cassadine is Valentine's father too. That would be an interesting twist. Make him a Cassadine again. Yeah, that would be interesting. Yes, that'd be interesting.
Speaking of all that stuff, real world stuff affecting GH, what did you think of the scene of Jax and Alexis?
You know, it's funny to see them together. They're good actors.
Yes.
They're good actors, Frank, because but I think because I know what's going on, I felt there was a slight, not a big one, slight distance between them, even when they were acting. But they were good. They played their scene. They played it very studiously. They did their scene. I mean, it was like she said, she's an actress. I mean, she did her job. But I'm just thinking, you guys hate each other. You guys are totally politically on opposite ends of the spectrum. That's very interesting. Because you have no scenes with them anymore. There's no scenes with them anymore. That was the first time in a long time. They almost had to because they're known as they're good friends. And on the show, so it's almost kind of like if you don't. I mean, it was a little weird, Frank. It was a little weird, but they're professionals. They did it fine.
Yeah, I mean, because within the show, there's no one else that Jackson I think would go to about these reservations. I mean, Alexis is the natural person to want to talk to him about. But yeah, and it wasn't since she was going off to prison, and they did that group scene in Kelly's with Valentine and
and Ned.
Yep, that they all said that Jax was there. That was the last time they had a scene together, so it's been a while. And I like their relationship as characters within the show.
I know.
For that sense, I did enjoy seeing them have a scene together. But you're right. But you're right. It's just so hard not having the real world stuff kind of just bleed into it. You're like, you guys can't be enjoying doing the scene together.
They can't be. I mean, it's like it must just be painful. But that's what acting is. You got to be very professional. We know that Fred and Ethel, Vivian Vance, and William Frawley apparently hated each other backstage.
Yeah,
and they were magic on screen. You watch I Love Lucy, they're magic. I mean, I don't, So I guess it's good acting. I guess. I heard Shelley Long and Ted Dancer were the same thing. I heard they didn't really care for each other either, and they were amazing together. Sam and Diane were amazing. I mean, that's and same with Bruce Willis and Sybil Shepherd. After a while, they weren't. Apparently, they weren't, and also Sybil Shepherd and Christine Baranski on her show, Sybil. Apparently, there was all kind of tension, but on the show, they were amazing. I mean, there was called acting, Frank. I mean, Frank and I actually hate each other, but we see what we're doing along, right? We're good actors. It's all acting. It's for you people out there,
right?
Acting. Well, since you guys are talking about her right now, let's bring her up because she's getting a lot of screen time, and she's creepy. Esme. That's another character right now that's getting lots of attention on the Twitterverse. They're calling her Dollar Tree now. But I'm telling you, Homegirl is overplaying her. She's young, so I think she's overplaying her hands a little bit. I think Nicholas is starting to see that too. Like, girl, he didn't say this. I'm paraphrasing, but he's like, girl, calm the fuck down. Like, you're just a little too much right now. To be a little extra. Because first, we find out she was adopted. There you go, Frank. There you go. It's all yours, Frank. They laid it up. They threw it up for you, and now you swat it out the park, Frank. They said right to you there. She was adopted.
Great. I mean, and it seems like some connection with Ryan Chamberlain. So
you're all great.
Waiting for that to come. I'm really your daughter, Ryan. Let's kill together.
Let's kill together. I mean, so when they actually goes, because it's her and Ava. And Ava was looking at her like, you crazy bitch. I'm Ava Jerome. Like, why you come to me like that? It was kind of, she looked at her, she's a little weird. But she's like, yeah, my brother, sister, my parents did what they could do. And I'm like, we're setting that up. Yeah. But then there's the Esme Trina experience. Trina Garrett looked like, you crazy bitch. Like, she let her talk and talk. Because Trina didn't go off on her. She just let her talk and talk and talk. And Esme was just talking, just going down the road. And she might tell Josh was like, this bitch is crazy. She didn't say it, but she was thinking this bitch is crazy. That's what she said to Josh. Because Josh is on her. She's like, no, this chick is weird. Because she messed up. She said Lauren, not Kiki. That's what made Trina go, mm-hmm.
Yeah, I like that Trina and Jocelyn are onto her. So that's great. It's not going to be, we see Esme kind of, trying to, pulling stuff for the longest time and everything. She's great. We're going to see right out the gate. There's two people that are right onto her, and they're looking to kind of reveal the secrets of why all her awfulness.
Yeah, but I think Spencer is like a little like but I mean, because she is just so super sweet, trying to get them together with, you heard him and dad back together, and but she's smart in a way. She's like, well, you can't. Again, it's one thing that everybody keeps saying, Nick Spencer, you can't have it both ways. You can't disown your father and still take his money. You
No,
can't.
that's true. And I do like you're saying, and you're like me. We're both high maintenance, so we're gonna.
Yeah. I was like, she spoke the truth. That was she spoke the truth. I was like, that's what it is, girl. And so I think with him, I think it's, I think she's gonna be too much for him. I think he's over his head a little bit. Because Spencer is Spencer, but he's not that sophisticated. I think he acts like he is more than he isn't.
Yeah.
So I think she's a little more worldly than he is. There's something going on there. Mm-hmm.
And I don't even know if she really cares that much about Spencer. Only
Right.
the fact that Spencer gets her close to Ava, and the luxuries that are at least for right now their paths kind of go along, Spencer and Esme. But I'm sure the second that Spencer's no longer really aligned for Esme, she's going to say, "See you later."
Yes.
But I really hope that we don't drag out Esme's connections to Ryan.
You probably will. You probably will, Frank.
I forgot what show we're talking about.
Yeah, exactly. I'm like, Frank, are you thinking this is bold and beautiful? I mean, this is going to go on. This is going to go on for months. It's going to go on for months. For months. Go on for months.
I really don't also understand. I agree with Nicholas on his point of view with Ava. It's like, if you're leaving town, why are you doing this restraining order? What's the point of it?
Yeah, I know. Yeah, it made no sense either. I think Ava's just scared. I really do think she really is acting out of fear. She's really scared about it because it got to Avery, and then someone did this whole thing with bringing up her dead daughter, which brings a lot of stuff to her. I really think that Ava's just kind of acting out of being scared. I think she really is. You know what I mean? I think she's really just she is scared. I think she really, really is nervous about what's going on.
I did really enjoy as always, the scenes with Ava and Trina.
Yeah,
just great, and just Ava. Yeah. I mean, boy, Ava, just how what a journey that character has taken, just to be able to kind of know herself that well and the mistakes that she's made, and being able to spot that and be honest about it. And not saying, tell Trina, I'm not trying to replace you, or not trying to replace Trina, make you like a surrogate Trina, but I just. Right. That she really is just fond of her.
Yeah, no, the conversation was great. They have chemistry. They have great chemistry. And they really have, to all the characters who they've built, they've shown them build the relationship. We've actually seen it.
Yes.
We've gone through a lot with them, actually. Trina's gone through, folks, you understand, Trina's gone through a lot. She's been in Port Charles. I mean, from having fake blood all over herself, being scared by killers. I mean, she's been kidnapped. Homegirl's had some stuff going on. She's made it through and been a friend of Joss and dealt with Cameron not liking her, and then now she's been through a lot. She has been through a lot. Yeah. And so I give it to her. So her and Ava have an honest relationship. They have an honest relationship. So I think that's something that we have to be. I think again, they have great chemistry, and Ava and Portia are becoming friends also like you wanted. So they're becoming friends and friendly. So I think it's going to be good. So Trina has two mothers.
Yes. I like that. Yeah. And just going back to Spencer for 1 second, it's just hard to watch those scenes between Spencer and Nicholas, only because we just know that Nicholas is lying through his teeth the whole time. Or I mean, Spencer's lying through his teeth. Yeah. So it's just like, for him to get all over Nicholas's case, it's just like, ugh, all right. I'm just waiting for all to be revealed.
Yes, exactly.
Yes. So now Nicholas can go off on Spencer, and we had
exactly. They have to wait till Laura gets back because Jeannie Francis is on vacation. So we gotta wait till Jeannie gets back from her vacation. She's doing Tony Geary. We gotta wait till she gets back from her vacation. Well, she does it. She's doing a Tony Geary and a Finola Hughes. They both get vacations. They get their vacations. So she's doing that too. But good for her. She's like, I got life. I gotta take some time off from this show. So that's going to be very interesting. A little tidbit I just want to throw in really quick because I thought it was very interesting. Jason and Dante had an actual interesting conversation about Sunny. I thought it was a very interesting conversation. What do you think?
I enjoyed it as well, and it's it's usually when Jason's at the PCPD.
Yeah,
For more often than not, he's just going to clam up until his attorney's present. So at least this was a situation where he didn't feel the need that he had to have Diane there, so they could have just a moment of him talking. And I like that conversation between the two of them. I thought it was good.
Yeah, because because the Sonny thing is very Sonny. I mean, he's been like a father to both of them, and like you said, he's like my bro. We say we're brothers, where he's like my father, and it's kind of like they both have something with Sonny, and he's gone. Well, he's gone. It was a very interesting conversation. I thought it was very just regular. They're just talking. It was very interesting. I was like, so someone mentioned that because it was like in the middle of everything that happened. I was like, oh, okay, well, that's interesting. But Frank Moran, I thought of you. Totally thought of you because now it's going. It's okay. Let me stop for a second. I got excited. Let me stop for a second. So this show, as you know, will drag things on. Sometimes they drop things completely. We never get pick up. Right? Once in a while, they'll pick something back up and run with it down the street. So we have Curtis and Portia. We have Jordan. They all show up in the same house. Sam stays behind because she might be too much. That was the best thing they said all season. I'm like, okay, that's fine. They're at the house. Jordan goes downstairs. Nobody with her. I know what before that she was like, and I'm paraphrasing, of course, but she was telling me, I know what I'm doing. I don't need anybody telling me what to do. I'm not my first rodeo, blah, blah. She basically told Sean, basically told him, you don't worry about me. I know what I'm doing. Just run her mouth. Cut to, she finds the dead body of homeboy, and then there's a guy behind her. You didn't like decide to check the perimeter. I watched enough of these shows. You check the perimeter first. You don't turn around and it's like, I'm like, oh my, see, I got all this hair. I'm ready to pull this hair out. I was ready to pull it out, kids. I was ready to pull it out. And I was just like, girl, I've watched enough CSIs and NYPD Blues. I was like, I know what to do. Come on, Frank. But this is why I thought of you. I'll tell you why I thought of you. There's also a gas leak. They're locked inside. Portia's holding Jordan. And she says, "Okay, I'm just off for you, Frank." I can tell Frank this again. I have to tell Trina about the truth about her father. So, Frank, what do you think about all that?
They decided to just like, hey guys, don't forget this thing that we did. But the only way it was really going to happen is that Portia had to be put in like a life and death situation. She had to feel like her life was over before she could really say that terrible secret that's been weighing her down for so long. But now seeing that she made it out, she sees Curtis with Jordan, assuming more because she just walks in on just part of that conversation. Does she decide to say, well, I'm just not going to say anything? But we've been reminded, so it's going to be addressed.
And you know who the father is.
Oh, yes, of course.
Clearly.
It's Cyrus.
Cyrus. That would be a twist. Like, what? Okay, that would be a twist. Woo! That's a twist I would totally love too. That make her part of Homegirl's family. It'd be great. So, that would be a total twist. Say it again. I feel bad for Taggart. Basically he's done. They have no ties after all that. But I was like, oh, they're bringing up the Curtis thing again. Mm-hmm. But Jordan's now on basically her deathbed, so to speak. She only got one kidney, folks.
Yeah.
Working on that.
I will say, as much as I've been enjoying having Jordan, Curtis, Portia, Sean, TJ in his domestic partnership, 5-month mug, whatever.
Yeah, whatever. Yes, whatever.
Having them on the show, if they did something so bold as to kill Jordan off, I'd be fine for it.
I know that crazy if they did that.
It's like, I'd be down for that. I think that would shake some stuff up. So I'd absolutely be down for that.
It would. We're not trying to get anybody out of a job or anything. We're just saying, though, storyline wise. But see, AAJR72 thinks it's going to be Curtis is going to stick with Jordan. He's going to feel bad, stay with her. Then Portia doesn't say Trina's his child.
Yeah. But I feel like if you're going to bring that up again after this long, then you know it's going to lead to some kind of revelation.
What has to? What has to? It has to. I agree with you. It has to.
And we all know that Jordan and Curtis are still married. So
right. We oh my God, that's what we sure do. That's right. It got all wet and soggy, and I couldn't save it. Or Stella. That's what Sean is. Stella's going to be tell Curtis, I told you so when it happens. I know. Everybody. Oh, or Jordan's going to need a kidney. Wonder who's the matching kidney going to be? Interesting. I think with that part, they could go that direction too.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, it's Trina or it's Curtis. They have a match, and Portia gets upset and has to, like, before anything happens.
Yeah, that's
There's
true.
a lot of things could happen. A lot of things could happen.
Yeah.
But I'm ready. I'm in it. I mean, even though they had TJ on, I love my parents, whatever.
Oh,
I feel bad. I feel bad. That character needs to be on screen more for me to care.
Yes, agreed.
That's all.
Because I did like that for some reason they needed to explain to us why TJ could just be around. Yes. It's like, I found somebody else to take over my shift, so it's fine. I can be here now. Like, no, we don't care, TJ. We don't care.
Right. I do. No, but I like having all. I like having them all around, and they're all kind of circling each other. I love having Sean back. I love having him back. Just add something more to it. But I need more TJ for me to actually really, because now Molly's gone again. Where's Molly? Wait, but it's just kind of like, okay, I need some continuity because then I will care. On paper again, great scenes, like a great scene. Mom, you're my hero. Blah blah blah. Sean, you defines a dad. Blah blah blah. I just don't care.
As much as I love Curtis, and there's no knock against Curtis here, it's I just thought I was hoping for more from his little action scene. It was kind of mediocre encounter with the killer. I was like, okay.
Well, you know how I feel about that, of course. I was accused on Edition Day show today of favoring Donnell Turner. I don't know where I got that idea from at all. Hashtag Donnell. No idea where I got that from at all. I don't know Frank at all. I was hoping to see him in action, beating some ass, but that didn't happen.
No, I was like, oh, all right, that's the best. That's the best you could give Curtis in that moment. Come on.
They all in the chat room. They want Phyllis to be Jordan's mother.
I mean, it would make sense. It gives Phyllis a reason to be sticking around. She doesn't. She's got two perfectly good kidneys.
She does. She's good. She's good. She's good. Christy is doing another show. That's what's her name? That's Christina. Okay. Speaking of Wally Kurth, so they're slowly going with the storyline that I think Leo is autistic.
Yeah.
Speaking of kids, I think that's where they're going, and everybody's kind of oblivious to this, except for Austin. And there was actually a very interesting scene between Austin and Ned.
I like that scene.
Me too. Just talking.
Yeah. I mean, and I liked how Austin kind of just, without shining a light on it and putting a name to it, just, so I don't want to say anything like that. It just, everybody has different ways of learning, and, how can we help this person be able to express themselves the best, going forward in their life. So, and that Ned had realized, that maybe something was wrong with Leo, and Olivia, we saw how she freaked out about that finger cut. So, I mean, I don't know. I mean, I guess there are moms that are like that, but boy, sometimes they make Olivia they dial her too much that way, and I feel like that's going to be in the storyline.
Yeah,
they're going to do
she'll be against it. Oh, you can't be serious, that kind of thing. Like, yeah, they do that sometimes. And
I know my son better than anybody.
Right. Yeah, I'm from Bensonhurst. Yes. So but I like that Ned is, because Ned is the father, basically. I mean, at this point, he's the father, and he has to. And I love what Austin said. And Ned doesn't want to tell you it's nothing to do with anything else. It has to do with Leo.
Yes.
And I thought that, and I believe him. I believe in this case. Well, actually, here's the thing about Austin. I believe Austin is who he is at all times. I really do. I mean, he just tells everybody the truth. I don't think. I mean, he may know about Maxie and Brooklyn. He may know, and he's holding on to it. That part will be surprised. But other than that, though, he's very straightforward and very much just like, this how it's like, yeah, it's what I want. It's how I feel. So I kind of like that in the character. He's not really hiding.
No, that's true. And I mean, I think even if he did know about Maxie and Brooklyn, I mean, I feel like they're doing it for a reason.
Yeah.
So I feel like even if he's on the secret, I mean, I don't think he'd blow the whistle on them. He might let them know that he knows.
But he likes Maxie. He likes Maxie.
Yeah.
I never thought they were going to put those two. Yeah, I didn't even. And you got Brooklyn pushing, of course, and they got into it. We're parenting style.
Yeah, and I'm with Brooklyn on this. It's like, hey, this is a deal that we set up, and I like that Brooklyn could be like, hey, two things could be happening that they don't have to be mutually exclusive. Yes, I'm worried about the Quartermain stuff, but I'm also wanting to do as best I can by Bailey. And so, as right now, unless you're willing to stand up right now and claim her, which you're welcome to, I'm going to parent her the best way that I know how.
She did say that.
Yeah.
She did say that. She's like, you ready to claim him? And she's like, I can't. You guys have to understand. They have to understand. Peter is considered still out there, and he is out there actually.
Yeah.
They know he is out there. They have to be careful. And of course, for her, she's not thinking about any kind of other man right now. She's not thinking about any man right now. She's still, or Peter, but she knows Austin likes her, and Austin he's drawn to her for some reason.
Yeah, I'm fine with that. We've talked in the past that I'm down with anything that doesn't involve Maxie and another police officer. So
bad luck with those.
Yes,
bad luck with those. She's at 3 or 4 now at this point. Yeah. So, Sean in the 7972 says, as an autism mom, I think Leo is on the spectrum, and that Austin could be too. That's been talked about that too online. That the way he acts, he's possibly on the spectrum also.
Oh, well, I mean, yeah, which I guess would be nice for that storyline to say, like, yes, I am too, and look at me. So I mean, that's
functioning. Yeah. I'm functioning. I think I agree with you on that. Let's say, so one of my other things too that I was like, that wasn't bad. I have my little notes, folks. I have my notes. I want to remember everything.
Well, I feel like we need to at least address your boy Charles Shaughnessy coming as Victor Cassadine.
Yes. So here's what's funny. So I said on Beyond Salem, he worked with Teo Panglis, who played Victor last time. So Teo didn't come back for it, clearly. Whether I don't think they didn't ask him or if he just said no, whatever. He's playing Andre Demir over there right now. Everybody apparently is not Wally Kurth. Some folks just watch one show, I guess, and that's it. Charles came back on. He plays 2 characters on days. He played Drew and Shane, twins. Him showing up, I was like, I did not see that coming. Frank did not know. I heard he was coming to the show, but I know who's whom. And the fact that Liesel now is out of control because this man is in love with her, I was like, that's so funny. I'm like, now she's being held captive.
That room, as I know I've seen online other people comment, but I just like during the whole scene, it was bonkers because everybody could seem to get into that room.
But her.
Yeah. Like everybody was just popping out from that room. A henchman, protecting
right.
Victor showing up in the room. It's just where the hell are all these people coming from?
She can't get out or in. So I'm curious to see where they go with this storyline. So right now she's missing. That's that, I guess, at the moment. And people are saying, is he working with somebody else? Well, not necessarily. He's a cat's eye. He doesn't have to work with anybody else. I mean, now that's the big question is Spencer clearly has been the stalker. But is he working with his Uncle Victor? Or is Esme? Were they working with him? Like, do they know he's around? I mean, that's what I'm saying, the whole thing. We have no idea. Spencer's been gone. We have no idea what he's been doing.
And I'd be curious to see, is wherever Liesel's being held, is that also where Drew's being held? Like it's
That's the same thing.
yeah, mansion above, like a bunch of
Right.
subterranean tunnels.
Right. And you got Drew and this other chick who has no name. Everybody thinks that Holly is this. I mean, we just don't know. So I have a feeling it's going to all connect.
I would think so. I don't. It doesn't seem like they're trying to do like a Peter and Cyrus, like two separate villains kind of deal.
Right.
So I mean, and you already have ties with Peter to whoever's with the Drew kidnapping. And
right.
So it makes sense. I think the easiest thing is just it's all Castleman related.
But then you get the Hayden Barnes stuff going, and who's behind that? And is that connected?
Well, I mean, we know it was Charles that killed Naomi. Had to be. Guy dressed up in a nice suit. It's got to be Victor. So
yeah, it has to be. So I'm thinking there's something going on there too with Hayden. I don't mind umbrella stories. I like them. I'll take them if it's good, if it's done well. So I'm curious to see what this is going. I'm really curious. For us, of course, our friend Kathleen Gotti, we love her. More of her, I'll take her any day. Yeah, Victor will be holding all of them. I mean, that could be Victor could be the one, which would be a refreshing change. I love Cassadines. I love Hank Cassadines. I think Charles may do a good job in this role. I want to see more. I want to see more of him. That was one day, but he was good.
Yeah, and I'm curious to see, because at some point, Nicholas has got to get involved.
Yes.
I'll be curious to see how Nicholas gets dropped in.
Yeah,
because I'm sure Victor's going to want some sort of, hey, I'm the guy that's running.
Exactly. Yeah. So it's going to be, and then Spencer is screwed. Unless Spencer's been working with him privately or knows he's around. Spencer was over in Europe. We don't know what the F he was doing over there. What are you doing over there? No idea. Oh, and the line of the week. We had a quote of the week. For me, this be the quote of the week, folks. Throw it down. I'm a stripper, Mom. I laughed so hard when she did a spit take. I had to laugh. I thought it was hilarious. And she was like, you stripped in front of Carly? And Sasha was like, yeah, she liked it. I mean, Sasha was having so much fun with this. Oh my God. As Mother was getting disgusted by the whole thing, I could stop laughing. The whole scene made me laugh. The whole thing made me laugh.
It was, but it's also like, I mean, Brando was like, giving Sasha no, just let's not keep going. And Sasha just didn't stop. She was like, boom, here it all is.
She wanted to gross out the mom so bad. Oh, I ended up laughing. I thought it was kind of funny. Because Gladys just thinks she thinks her shit don't stink. She thinks she should be like getting red carpet service. And then she's gonna go to a wedding with Homeboy and the Novak. I'm just like, oh my God. To me, I know it bugs you. It makes me laugh. I think it's kind of funny. And I curious to see at the wedding, she get killed. Something could happen.
I would welcome it.
I know you would. I know, I love that. I love that she's annoying. At some point, she's supposed to be annoying. I love her. Lori C. Me too. I love her too.
I know, but I feel like I need at least some semblance of a real human being in there.
Nah.
And there's not. There's no semblance of that.
No, there isn't. Not at all.
These scenes, like, oh no, I'm not moving out. I'm staying in the other room because I'll be closer. No, we've already had this discussion. You're out. You're out. What are we doing?
She's like, no. She had that kind of, he came over and sat next to her and was buying her drink. She's like, yeah, I'll take a drink. Sure, I'll take, they don't respect me like they're supposed to in the Corinth. I'm like, you're not a Corinthos, bitch. No one, you're a Corbin from the other side family. Yeah, you're related to Sonny, but you're not all that, folks. I mean, like, oh my God. I mean, I like that Dante and Brenda had a talk, that little cousins talk, whatever, for a little thing, earlier in the week. But I'm like, she thinks she's more important than she is. It makes me laugh. I agree, Frank. They agree with Frank. I mean, she's supposed to be a pain in the ass. That's the point. She's supposed to be annoying. The actress is Bonnie Burrows. She's doing a great job being annoying. That's what she's supposed to be.
Oof.
I know it's rough for you, but she's supposed to be annoying. I love it.
There's like a Lucy Co. A Lucy Co. could be incredibly annoying, but there are moments of genuine human empathy, connection, like that. We're like, okay, yeah, cool. That helps us accept the points where Lucy goes on her weird Lucy tangents and gets all crazy. Gladys has none of that. Gladys is just crazy Gladys all the time, and so I cannot care for her at all. And I welcome her. Whenever she can leave the show, she cannot do it fast enough.
That's why we killed the wedding. It's the wedding, folks. Everything. It's the event of the century. Maxie will be there planning it. Austin's going to go at some point. He's going to go. When he say he didn't answer a question because Jordan was brought in. He's not going to be there too. I think everyone's going to be there except for Sam.
Oh, thank goodness.
Unless Dante says you have to be like +1 to the wedding.
Wait, there's no way. There's no way. Even Not Dante wouldn't do that.
The way they're writing these two, I wouldn't be surprised.
Do you even think Dante's going to go to that wedding?
I have to. I don't really want to go, but I gotta support, Carly. I mean, who knows? They always write. I mean, they may not go, but I'm just saying, I would. If they show up, folks, I will not be surprised. Oh, they're saying that also some people think the line of the week goes to Ava about the bodyguards and UFO. That was funny. The whole thing set up was funny. It was good. I still maintain I'm a stripper mom. It's so like ridiculously funny to me. He's a grown man. He's saying it to his mother. He said it in a way on purpose. He said it on purpose to like just bug her. And he just made me laugh. Make me laugh.
Yeah, you go. That whole of Brando dancing for them at that just like really just ridiculous bachelor party. Holy cow! Yes,
that was painful. I liked Terry Brando, but that was painful, and I think it was supposed to be painful. So yeah, that's really painful. And also, yes, and before that, all that stuff went down. Lucy Co. approaching Scotty about Liesl. We never see them together. They have a long history. They were married. Have a long history. Yes.
I mean, it's like, hey, I got to give my guy a heads up.
Yes, and we had a scene between longtime enemies. Well, they mellowed out a little bit. Monica and Carly.
Yeah. I mean,
AJ was brought up, that kind of thing.
I mean, it was a decent scene for sure. I mean, I guess where they left it was they're never going to be best friends, but at least they can be civil to each other going forward.
Yeah. I mean, they have so many people in common that they love. They have to be civil to each other. And they've been coexisting for the most part. And with Drew coming back, that's more another Quartermain coming back. So I mean, that's gonna be more of that. And I'm just curious how Drew is going to fit in on the show, how they're going to write him, because when Jason came back, they literally shut him to the corner. And so I'm just kind of curious, will they pick up on him and Carly, thinking when she thought he was Jason, when they were close at one point? I mean, like, but so far they're playing on the fact that Drew and Curtis were close, which they were. They were close. But I'm like, will him and Jason become friends? I mean, will they become like twins? Friends? I mean, I don't. It's just very interesting. I'm curious what they're gonna do with the character once they bring in the Port Charles.
Yeah, I agree, because there's so much that was left untapped with that character.
Yeah,
on his first go around. And yeah, I agree with you. Once Jason showed up, it was like, oh, this is the real twin we wanted all along. So
yeah, they didn't play it out. They didn't play it out like they should have. I think everybody in this chat room could agree with that. They just didn't. Yeah, I heard Chris Judd, who is J-Lo's ex-husband, well, one of them, choreographed Brando stripping. I saw him on Instagram talking about it. So they got him to be the choreographer. So like, come on, Chris Judd.
All right.
You're still getting work.
That's right. There you go.
I wouldn't mind Drew and Carly. That's not going to happen. That's why I see the Drew thing's really interesting, because when Drew comes back, he has several choices. He has Elizabeth.
Yep.
He has Sam. He could be somebody new like Britt. I mean, there's all kind of possibilities that he could go because they had him with Kim towards the end. That was it. Kim's gone. I don't know. It'll be very interesting to see where they put him.
I would be curious too, because I mean, we did have that scene of Julian finding that baby of Kim's in New York before being killed.
Yes.
And I mean, you know, without knowing Drew is ever coming back on campus, you would have thought that, oh, I guess that's going to be his baby,
right?
But maybe it's really Drew's. I don't know.
I don't know either. I don't know. I said they're doing something just like, okay, I don't know where they're going with this. But yeah, I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, because it's one of those like, you know, well, maybe it's an example of one of those things that JH introduces and, you know, they don't ever follow up on. It was just like, oh, here's just the thing. And that's it. And that's all it was. It's just a little, oh, it came out another baby with Julian. But Julian's going to get
Well, the thing is, so he has a daughter, Scout. So he is, then him and Sam have possibility. That's a co-parent situation. I know. But I would take him and Sam over Dante and Sam. If I had to choose. I mean, I'd rather stab myself in the face, either one. But I would say if I had to choose between bad and bad or worse and worser, I'd say Drew and Sam. Put Dante somewhere else.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean,
come on, Frank. I know it's like choosing between stale bread and curdled meat. I don't know. I mean, it's like pick which one you got to eat.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I guess I'm going stale bread.
Yeah. Same here. At least that's penicillin. Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I don't know. I just think it's. Yeah, Drew and Brew would be interesting for Jason. It would be interesting.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to see where, because Oscar's gone. So his only tie is that he's a quarterback at least. This is a quarterback. So there's a tie in there. But like Franco's gone, that was his friend. So he has Curtis and he has Sam and the kid. Those are literally, and Monica, those are literally his options.
Yeah. And if he wants to sort of forge any kind of relationship with Jason, something that we never really saw the first go around.
Right. I agree, Tara Kendall. I wanted Dante with Maxey also.
Agreed.
That makes it messy for when Lulu comes back at some point.
Yes.
They're not going that direction. They're going the direction of her and Austin. Kim said the baby is Julian's.
Yeah. I mean, I guess we'll never, I mean, that's just like a little thing that we've seen and it's closed off until, 5 years from now. So 6 years, 10 years, the kid's aged up and is back in town as, like a Jerome.
Because they have three options. Said Julian, Drew, and Franco. Remember, she slept with Franco, didn't she? When he was Dranko?
Yeah, that's true.
Which would be a piece of Franco back, which, I mean, that brings in Elizabeth. I mean, there is some great, Shady Sunday, folks. There is some. It depends on how they're going to write it. I don't want to waste my breath. It depends on how they're going to write it. That's how it's going to be. They're going to write it. That's that. We caught that was the week that was, and a week and a half or so it was. We actually caught it all. I looked at my notes, and that was everything, folks. We're back next week, of course. Like I said, we have some stuff coming up. We're back next week. Talk about General Hospital. So stay tuned for all. Just follow us at J Smith Spotlights on Facebook and follow us here, and you'll just find out what's going on. JLJ Media, find out what's going on. And yes, Noise out there too, single. So who knows what that's going on with that too. But yeah, just follow us. And follow Frank where?
On Happy Go Jackie at Twitter and Instagram. For some reason,
I'm sure Annie Goins going to text you at some point. We messaged you at some point today. She's not on the chat today. She's going to tell us if she missed the show. She always likes to tell you that. So I'm sorry she's going to mention that. So
don't break my heart, Annie. Don't break my heart.
Come on, Annie. And you can follow me. We're all James Jr. Sold at James Jr. social media platforms. I am going to be talking to Queer and Soaps next, coming up at 6. So join us for that live. And they're building their empire. I'm going to powder my face or my nose or whatever and get back and be ready for you guys. I've been talking all day long, everybody, since 10 o'clock this morning. But we love you guys. That's why we're here. I want the GH, the number one show on my network. There's a fly flying around in my room. And I'm like, get out of here, fly. Everyone, take care.